Howdy. Welcome to all you guys. Welcome to the last week of 2022. Can you believe that? Man, I remember as a kid, the year 2000 seemed like a long time in the future. 2020, we were going to be flying spaceships all over and going to the far reaches of the galaxy and all that. We're not there quite yet, right? But 2022 is almost done. I did Big Brother in 2019. 3 years. 3 years since I've done Big Brother. I guess 2.5, right? You know, half a year, whatever. Anyway, welcome to 22, or the end of it. Welcome to the beginning of 2023. You notice I'm not wearing my cowboy hat. Just in spirit, in empathy with some of y'all a little further up north who have been putting up with some horrifically cold stuff. I knew it was going to be bad, and it wasn't fantastic down here in Houston. We got down into, I don't know, 19, 20 degrees or so, which in Houston is bad news. We're not used to it. Our houses aren't set up for it. We had people bursting pipes and all that, but it's nothing like some of y'all have had to put up with. Oh, it's been miserable. So yeah, I wore my warm weather gear. Funny the looks I get when I wear this around, especially when I wear it during summertime, but hey, that's a whole different story. But I am going to switch, because as great as that is for keeping my ears warm, not so good at being able to interact with y'all and everything. I just hear a bunch of echoes when I wear that thing. Hope y'all are doing fantastic. Before going further, let me start off with a big old SKD 143. I love my wife. I love my kids. Love reality TV fans everywhere. Especially love you guys who sit out here every Monday evening with me, or those of you who watch a little bit later and replay. Don't want to leave y'all out either, because I certainly am appreciative of all of y'all. So cool to sit out here and answer some questions, find out what's going on in y'all's lives. I want to find out how your Christmases were. We'll talk about mine. Y'all know me. I mean, I'll talk away, but I want to hear what some of y'all's special stuff was with Christmas. Did you? Hopefully you stayed indoors. None of that outdoor Christmas celebrations this year, right? Hope y'all had fantastic Christmas. Had lots of time with family and friends and ate all kinds of food. We'll talk about all of that. So, welcome to all of y'all. As I get going, before I go any further, let me just give a real quick shout out to everyone. Brian Hostetler's. Brian, how are you doing? Brian, aren't you down in Orlando right now, or at least trying to get that direction? Marilyn Sutherland. Hey, Marilyn, how are you doing? Cindy, Merry Christmas to you, Sandy. Keith Franken, Merry Christmas to you as well. Amanda Lowe, howdy, Amanda. Jake, the horror movie geek. How are you doing, Jake? Michelle Moore, Ma, yo, yeah, Ma, yo, how are you, Ma, as well? Hope you had a great Christmas. JP from Jersey, right? JP, how are you doing, JP? And let's see who else we've got on here. Michelle, I think I said Michelle, but I don't mind saying it again, Michelle. And let's see, Miss Fire, how are you doing, Miss Fire? Maureen Carroll as well. And let me quickly get through that. I think that's about it. And if I missed any of y'all, I apologize. Andy W. I wasn't going to forget you, Andy. I just had to scroll a little bit further into comments. So welcome to all of y'all. Welcome to those of you who are out there that may not have posted yet. Certainly welcome to those of you who are watching it on replay as well. Now, let me throw this out. I maybe have mentioned it for a few times. For those of you who haven't done so already, certainly feel free. Please go out and subscribe to the channel. And while you're out there, you can hit the little thumbs up, and that way you'll get notifications on all the shows I'm doing, this show, but also the recaps I'm doing. Now, we finished Survivor, which certainly makes my life a little bit easier on Wednesday evenings. Trying to do Survivor and the challenge when they're on at the same time. Busy Wednesday nights in the Hog household. The Survivor is done. Amazing season. We can talk about that as much as you want, because I still love that season. We're still going on with the challenge. The challenge is going to go on for like 400 more episodes. Big Brother, what is it, 13 weeks, but 3 episodes a week. So we've got almost 40, probably 40 by the time you do it all together. I feel like from a reality TV standpoint, Big Brother's got more episodes than any other reality TV show. But the challenge can't be that far behind, because those seasons seems to go out forever and ever. But that's a long way of saying that I'm still doing recaps on that. Once the challenge finishes up, I don't know what I'm going to recap next. I don't know if I'll do, we got another season of Survivor. We do not have Celebrity Big Brother. I'm kind of disappointed. I was looking forward to that, but not going to happen this year. It doesn't seem like. But I'm going to start picking up and recapping a few other shows. So if y'all got any suggestions, any ideas, let me know. And if you turn on your notifications, you'll find out every time I recap anything at all. All right. All right. Now, yeah, Miss Fire saying, do you have any New Year's resolutions? And then also I've got Will You Watch Traders in January? Yeah. For those of you who don't know, Traders is a new reality show. I really don't know anything about it except it takes place, I think, in a castle in Scotland. I talked to some people at Hearts Reality, like Rachel Riley, who is in it. And so Brendan said, "Hey, make sure you watch Rachel's show." Because I mentioned, I told Rachel, I said, "Man, I watch you and everything. I watch you doing Snakes in the Grass, all your different shows." And she said, "Well, watch Traders as well." So Brendan told me a little bit about it, but yeah, I'm definitely going to watch that show. It sounds, I don't know, anything involving all these people that I've met before and then I know through Big Brother and Survivor and the other shows. It's going to be a lot of fun. She said she had a blast doing it. So yeah, Traders is coming. That may be a good one. Maybe I could cover that because no one knows about it. So I will cover it, watch it with y'all. Something we may figure out some way to do it. That'd be kind of fun. So we'll do that. So anyway, all right. What was I talking about? Going out, subscribing, and all that. Yeah, y'all know how to do that. I do appreciate that. All right. What is going on? Happy Boxing Day. We don't really celebrate Boxing Day down here in the States, but I know they do over in the UK. Those of y'all up in Canada, they celebrate Boxing Day up there, right? I guess the idea is that all the servants get packages from the homeowners and everything on maybe the day after Christmas. They take home to their families and all of that. So happy Boxing Day. I didn't package up anything for anyone. Of course, it's not like we got a lot of servants running around the hog. We had servants, and then they grew up and moved out of the house and got married. So now I become the servant yet again. But happy Boxing Day to those of you who celebrate it. Happy what? We celebrated Festivus. I think Hanukkah's still going on, right? Or it's just about over. Happy Hanukkah for those of you who celebrate that. I think Kwanzaa just kicked in on Friday or Saturday. Isn't it amazing how many holidays, how many different religions have holidays and such right here at this particular time of the year, which is kind of cool because it means that I'd like to think everyone maybe is celebrating different things, but we all get to celebrate together, and everyone gets to celebrate having family and friends and everything together, regardless of what kind of holiday you're celebrating. So that was fun. That was my favorite part of this Christmas. Yeah, we got gifts, and yeah, I ate lots of food, and yes, I stayed indoors, but the main part was just we had my son, my brand new daughter-in-law, my daughter, my brand new son-in-law, my wife and I. So we had all 6 of us in the house together, and that's what it's all about. That was just so great, so much fun. Running the fireplace and the house lit up, Christmas tree lights and all that. We had a lot of fun. That's my favorite memory, as it normally is every year. Now, getting back, resolutions. You'd ask about resolutions, and I kind of blew it off. I don't always do a lot of resolutions at New Year's because, first of all, things change throughout the year. Second of all, I'm never good at them, right? So I try not to. My resolution this year: eat a little better, exercise a little more, run a little bit. I used to do some running, then I had to stop doing it because I wanted to make sure that I didn't mess anything up because I wanted to walk my daughter down the aisle for a wedding. So I stopped running because last thing I want is mess up my knee right beforehand. I'd like to pick that back up again, but I may wait until the temperature goes up above freezing before I go outside and start running it. I'd be like that kid from the Christmas Story, wearing so many bundles of clothes. I wouldn't even be able to move. I just would waddle down the street because I'd be so bundled up against this cold. So yeah, I may wait just a little while before I start running. So that's it. No hardcore resolutions. I try to come up with them throughout the entire year instead of just waiting till January 1st. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right. What else do we have going on? All right. But Misfire, I just saw this as I'm looking at the comments saying Brett from Big Brother 20 is on the circle. I heard that. Is it season 5, I think? I'm so far behind on the circle. I need to go in and get caught back up because I love the first season. I saw Shuby at Hearts of Reality, and I think Shuby may be making an appearance as well. He didn't tell me. I'm gonna have to give that guy a hard time for not telling me anything back because we spent a lot of time talking about reality TV and all that. But yeah, the new season of The Circle is starting up, so I'm certainly gonna have to pull that back up and get caught back up on that. I watched so many stuff. All right, before we talk about watching movies and TV and everything else that I did, I want to talk about a couple of other things. First of all, I'd be remiss if I didn't do a big old shout out. Happy birthday to Nicole Anthony. And I think some of y'all were talking about it beforehand. Nicole's birthday. I tell you what, there are so many birthdays that I celebrate, special events that I celebrate in December. My wife's birthday's in December. My daughter's birthday's in December. My daughter-in-law's birthday is in December. One of my nephews' birthdays in December. Sharon and I, our wedding anniversary is in December, Thursday. Yeah, Thursday the 29th. We are celebrating 32 years of marriage. So lucky. I told Sharon, I realized a couple of weeks ago, I said, I realized that I've been married for a bigger part of my life than I was ever single. And I wouldn't have it any other way. So, yeah, well, I don't even know what we're going to do celebration-wise yet. We're going to go out, go do a little something, celebrate 32 wonderful years together and wonderful kids as a result of it and all that. So, yeah, we've got that to celebrate. What else? I feel like there's even a couple more that I may be missing as well. But a lot of celebrations going on. And now I got Nicole Anthony's birthday as well. She turned, I won't tell. I'm sure she doesn't care, but her birthday's today. Also, KC there's a lot of Big Brother birthdays today for some reason. Nicole is having a birthday. KC is having her birthday. I think Michelle from, what is she, Big Brother 18, I think, is having her birthday. And there's even one or two from a little bit older seasons as well that I just can't remember. But yeah, Nicole celebrated. I know we talked a little bit while we were in the house. She was saying how tough it is having your birthday on Christmas, or having Christmas and then the very next day is your birthday. Presents tend to get bound together, combined into just one big present and all of that. But on the other hand, you've always got family in to celebrate. You don't ever have to, you shouldn't have to work on your birthday, right? I know there's some people that are working on Christmas Day, day after Christmas and all of that. I got to start working back again tomorrow. I'll have a few days of that, but it's all right. I'm going to enjoy the time I've got off while I've got it. JP saying 32 years and may you have a lifetime more together, Cliff. Well, that's the plan. Somewhere down the road, it may be 20 years from now, somewhere down the road, I'll retire. And then, I don't know, I'll either go on Big Brother full time, that jumbo Big Brother, put you in the house for a full year or something. Nah, I'm not going to do that. We'll go travel, see the sights, everything. I think that would be a lot of fun. But yeah, what a cool way to live through life. It made it really hard though, because yeah, I know there were people hooking up and showmances and all that kind of stuff in Big Brother house. But I had a real spouse. I mean, I had someone, a family that actually I didn't just meet in the house. They, people that I was having to worry about every single day I was in there. That made it easier because I knew my wife and kids were taking care of each other. But that was a long time to be away from this. Probably it's the longest I've ever been away from my family before. Certainly the longest I've ever been away where I didn't have any communication with them whatsoever. And so, yeah, that was hard. It certainly made, y'all didn't see it, but after the show wrapped, just a little FYI, after the show wraps, the TV show, the live episode and everything, after that, we had to hang around the CBS lot forever because they wanted to have backyard interviews and different people talking to us and all of that. And we got to meet the cameraman and producers and people like that, behind the scenes people. So I had a little party for that. I was just ready to get back and see my family. And finally, guys, in the middle of the night, they took us back to our release spot. And I walk in and my family's sitting there. What an amazing sight to see them. And there were other people's families there. Christy's family was there. Tommy Bracco's family was there. There were Nicole's family were there. There were a lot of families. Ovi's girlfriend, Hannah, was there. All these people that I'd heard about while I was in the house. And then I got to meet them in real life. So that was kind of cool. All right. Vicky Stone saying, hey, Cliff, did your pipe survive the big freeze? More importantly, did you survive? Yeah, I'm like a polar bear. I got a little extra insulation to keep me taken care of. I was good, but I will say this. I didn't spend a lot of time outside because it was cold just for a little bit, but it was cold. Yeah, everything survived for us. No pipes burst or anything else. Fortunately, I had everything on the outside wrapped up nice and tight. And we ran a little water indoor. We did the stuff we needed to do to take care of business. Now, plant-wise, we'll see. I know I was on the show about growing loofahs and all that. Those are already dead for the year, so no big deal with that. I'll replant them next year. But I've got a huge avocado tree that just barely survived the freeze that we had a couple of years ago here in Texas. I mean, the top half of it died, but the bottom branches came back out. I walked out there this morning. All the leaves fell off on the ground. It's just bare branches. I'm hoping that it didn't kill it off again. I'm hoping that the tree wasn't so young it couldn't survive a second round, because I love me some avocados. We'll find out. I can't do anything till next year to see, but definitely got a little cold down here. Now, here's the worst part. My son and daughter-in-law have a dog. Y'all have seen Oakley on one or two of my episodes here before. She's been here playing guest host with me. She's a nice. I love that dog. Little rambunctious, full of energy. That's what we'll say. But she wanted to go outside, and so between my son and myself, we were going outside. Of course, the dog's smart. When it's 18 degrees, funny how suddenly dogs can take care of business pretty quickly and come running back in. Not like during the summer I was watching her when she'd spend 45 minutes with me out there trying to get her to go to the bathroom and come back in. No, this time she went out 15 seconds. Woo, she's coming right back in. Cold 15 seconds for me though, that was watching as well. But no, our pipes made it. So we were good to go. Eddie Berger saying my neighbors recently retired. They sold their house, bought an RV, and are traveling the states. That would be kind of fun. I would have fun doing that. Just to see, I'd be like the Griswolds on vacation. I'd want to go off and see the giant balls of yarns and the sinkholes in the ground and the biggest lollipop in history, things like that. Not that I don't love the big city and all that, but I like just getting out and getting off the beaten track. I used to do that when I would travel overseas. You'd be at your hotel, which are so westernized sometimes, and everyone trying to make you feel comfortable. I didn't want any of that. I wanted to see what the real culture was like. So there's lots of times where I would just start walking. I just do a walkabout, and I would. Sometimes would have an idea. I want to go to the Gold Souk, and I know it's a couple of miles this direction, but half the time I'd get lost. And you never knew what you'd run into. I know in the United Arab Emirates one time, I didn't realize there was a Russian section of the town. Next thing you know, I'm in a little section. There's a McDonald's. Everything's written in Russian. Everyone's talking to me in Russian. It's like, wow, did I walk as far as that? But I did that. One time in Beijing, I just started walking like that. Or no, Beijing, Shekou, but still in China. Started walking. Next thing you know, I end up in an animal market. It's one of those where you walk in and they got cages with snakes and cages with fish and bats and animals that I didn't even recognize. Everywhere you look, and people are buying these things. They're all looking at me a little funny because I don't think Westerners typically go into this place. Nowadays, I'd be a little bit more nervous about going to that kind of place. COVID and all of that. Back then, it's like, well, as long as you don't make me eat it, it's very interesting. I was going to take a picture while I was there, and people looked at me with such a dirty look. I was like, yeah, no, camera's going right back into the pocket. In fact, China, I almost got arrested in China by a couple of police officers because I'm walking along, just a friendly American, no, not a care in the world. And I see some police officers directing traffic. They're kind of standing on a street corner there in China. And I thought, I'm just going to be friendly to them. We're friends, neighbors from the other side of the world and all that. So I came up to him and tried to explain to him that my brother at the time, he's still my brother, but at the time he was a police officer. And I was trying to explain to them that I had family that was also a police officer, and would it be possible for me to take a picture? Well, I think the only thing that actually translated into their language was me holding a camera, wanting to take a picture, which they did not like at all. They immediately did this stuff, started demanding my passport, my papers. I handed that to them, and they'd look at the papers, they'd look at me, and they'd ask questions. And I bet, I don't speak English, Chinese. Sorry, guys. And they were on the radio talking, and I don't know what they thought I was doing. A mistake. They weren't as friendly as I thought they were going to be. Fortunately, I think they let me go eventually, only because they didn't know what to do with me. Last thing I want to do is have to drag me to some Chinese prison. Last thing I want to do is get drugged to some Chinese prison, because then I probably would be eating all the stuff in the animal market, which I have no desire to know about anyway. But yeah, so every once in a while I do my little walkabouts, and it almost would get me into trouble, but I got the gift of gab. Even when I don't speak the local language, it's amazing. A big smile on your face usually puts people at ease, right? Now, for all I know, the policemen were saying, I don't know why this guy's smiling. He's getting ready to get hauled to jail. Maybe he's just a complete idiot, but it still worked. So, yeah, always wear the smile on your face, and people will be hopefully just a little bit friendlier to you. All right, Vicky's saying, were they buying the animals to eat? Well, they were. The people in the market were, yeah. I think they were. I don't think it was a pet store. I don't think they were buying the snakes and the bats and things like that to take home and to name Gus or anything. No, I think these were destined for a dinner table somewhere. It was very strange because it wasn't. It was very dark. It was the floor was wet everywhere. It was very crowded. Certainly, the odors were a little different than well. They're pretty much what you would expect in a place like that. So I didn't spend a lot of time there, but not really a bucket list. I don't have on my bucket list go to a really weird animal market, but certainly a memory that I always keep with me. Yeah, that was a weird one. As opposed to the gold souks in the United Arab Emirates, where you look for 200 yards down the way, and all you see is one jewelry shop after another selling nothing but gold. It is the most amazing place, and a lot of the gold they sell there isn't the white gold; it's a yellow gold, so it's very bright, very shiny, and super incredible prices when you're there. It is amazing the amount of gold in this place. So yeah, different market than I went into, and they also have the spice market in the UAE, which is really cool because you walk in and just every smell you could possibly imagine hit your nose, and it's just it's kind of cool. It's kind of like going into a Bath and Body Works or a Yankee Candle store, which I may have done a little bit before Christmas hit this year. And the first 5 minutes are great. You go in, you're smelling the candles. Oh, I like this one. This one not so much. After about 5 minutes, my nose burns out. I can't smell anything at all. They all start smelling exactly the same. My nose can only that's why it was such a hard. Why I was so disappointed on my activity during my season of Big Brother involves smelling stuff because I can't smell nearly as well as other people can. I remember Kat in there, me saying I can't smell anything. Kat saying, "Oh, my mom's a perfume tester or used to be a perfume tester." It's like, well, great. I know who's going to win this competition. So yeah, not the challenge I would have wanted to have in the house, but then again, they didn't ask me. All right, what else do we have on here? Cindy saying, watch Christmas Vacation and A Christmas Story. All right, I missed Christmas Vacation this time. Oh, and JP saying Gremlins and A Christmas Story. Yeah, all right. I certainly watched A Christmas Story every year. It's on days and days, right? Over and over again. I watched it. It's funny. I always seem to turn it on at the same sections. Either it's the lamp, the fragile lady, the leg lamp, just about the time they get it, or this time I turned it on and it's just about the time that Ralphie is having to help his dad change the tire. Utters a word that maybe Ralphie shouldn't be uttering, and it's not fudge. As he says, no, it's not that one. It's a holy mother of all words that you could possibly say. And yeah, I laugh about that every single time. I did not watch Christmas Vacation this time, but I did watch Christmas Story. So what did I watch? Let's talk about that because with my kids over and everything, we watched a few movies. Some of them more Christmas appropriate than others. I kind of want to get y'all's thoughts on what y'all think about these. I watched for the first time ever. My kids were amazed I'd never watched it before. I don't know how it escaped me, but I watched Zoolander with Ben Stiller and Will Ferrell. I kind of like a lot of Will Ferrell movies. I don't know how I missed that one. Kind of a strange role for him. I watched Zoolander, which I got to say, as long as you don't take it too seriously, was kind of funny. The model face. Yeah, I can do that too. We watched Zoolander. We watched Bullet Train. There's a Brad Pitt on there and all kinds of so many folks on Bullet Train, famous people. But we watched Bullet Train. Very action packed, a little graphic, a little comedic. It was, yeah, they torn the line on there. It was very interesting to watch as well. And we watched for our Christmas movie, in addition to Christmas Story. I haven't seen this in multiple years. Home Alone, the old with Macaulay Culkin. Do y'all know his name now is Macaulay Culkin, because he had some kind of Twitter poll where he said, "I'm going to change my name or I'm going to add my middle name because I don't have a middle name. Whatever y'all pick as my middle name is going to be my new middle name. And the jokesters on Twitter said, all right, we want your middle name to be Macaulay Culkin. And he said, okay. So he changed it. So now his name is Macaulay Culkin. Yeah, I'm sure they love you at the passport office. You talk about going somewhere and never getting home again, right? They're going to look at that and laugh. But we watched Home Alone. I loved it. It's been a long time since I've seen it. And here's something I didn't realize, and I won't talk further about this movie. I didn't realize John Candy was in it, or I forgot that John Candy was in it. He ends up giving the mom a ride back to Chicago and all. It's okay doing spoilers for a movie that old, right? He gives her a ride back, and all I could think is that is so cool that John Candy, who was so famous for his own holiday movie, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, that he then has this little cameo or this little bit part where he's now giving someone else a ride home on the Christmas holidays to help them out. So yeah, I loved it. I really just was flipping around, found it on there and watched it all the way from start to finish. And it was a good movie. I like me some Home Alone. Home Alone 2, not so much. They should have stopped at 1, but Home Alone 1, pretty good. Vicky's saying It's a Wonderful Life is the best Christmas movie ever. The Holiday was pretty good. I watched it for the first time the other night. All right. The Holiday, I've watched The Holiday. I don't know how many times I watch Holiday. It's one of Sharon's favorites, and it's one of my favorites. Watch The Holiday all the time. A little deep, dark secret for y'all. I've told y'all before, I've never watched the Titanic, right? I know how it ends, but I've never actually watched the movie Titanic. Another movie that I've never watched all the way through, It's a Wonderful Life. It's on all the time. I know the premise. I've seen little bits and pieces. I've never watched it from start to finish. There's a whole bunch of parts of it that I don't know nothing about. So yeah, I've heard that, and I'm sure it's fantastic, and it's really sad probably that I haven't seen it, but I have it. And because I've gone so far in life without having seen it, now just out of principle, I'm gonna avoid it just to be contrary, right? Yeah, just to be a rebel, just to say, yeah, I'm not going to the flow. I'm not giving in to the man. I'm not watching It's a Wonderful Life. I'm going to be a rebel and watch Zoolander instead. That's what I was thinking on Christmas Day. You know what else? What we did watch, though, that is a bit of a tradition, and it's really cool. Christmas Eve, we watched it. Started, I think, about 11:30 Central Time this time. We watched Midnight Mass from Vatican City, from St. Peter's Basilica, the Pope doing his Midnight Mass service. I'm not Roman Catholic, but it doesn't matter. It is such an amazing, incredible event that, oh my God, that church is so incredible. To think how old it is and how huge it is, and the statues and just a celebration and everything that takes place in that service. We watch the Midnight Mass every year for it. And so that's kind of become our tradition. In the old days, in years past, we would watch it while we were wrapping gifts and things like that. Now, as the kids have gotten older and everything, we tend to get all the preparation for Christmas done a little bit earlier. And so now we just kind of watch Midnight Mass. That's the last thing we do before going to bed. And I don't know, it just kind of reminds me of some of the background of the season and all that. And again, I'm not Roman Catholic, but it is just an incredible service. I love watching that thing and just feeling the grandeur and seeing kind of the whole world coming together at that kind of event. And man, it's kind of neat. All right. Annie Berger saying Christmas Story is my favorite. Nothing wrong with that. My nephew got a BB gun for Christmas. My son's got a BB gun for Christmas. He fortunately did not put his eye out. Jake watched a Krampus. I haven't watched it. All right, Jake. Now, why does that not surprise me that you would watch Krampus? Yeah, now it fits perfectly. I haven't watched it. I maybe I ought to do that. And then Keith is saying loves Home Alone. Yeah, it's not forgotten. It's not like anyone doesn't know. Oh, it's very famous. So many different Christmas movies I hadn't seen it for a while. I watched Die Hard. Does that count as a Christmas movie? I've heard people arguing. It's at a Christmas party, but certainly not bringing in the Christmas spirit, right? But what is that? What's the one thing? If a person gets killed, they lift up his shirt, says something like, ho, 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 now I've got a machine gun to go, or something. I don't know. There's so many out there. I mentioned Planes, Trains, and Automobiles with John Candy, Steve Martin. That's one of my favorites as well. Christmas Vacation's right up there with Cousin Eddie. I was gonna say I got a lot in common with cousin Eddie. I hope not, but he's fun to watch. All right, what else we have? Patty Bell saying, "What is a non-Christmas movie you can watch over and over and over again?" All right, there's a few of them. Let's see. What are a few of them? One of them, Braveheart, with Mel Gibson. I watch it over and over again. A love story, right? A love story with a whole lot of killing and stuff that takes place. So I love me some Braveheart. Pure Country with George Strait. He's got a lot of singing of his songs in Pure Country. I watch that a lot. Here's another one that maybe I hadn't seen in a couple of years. Used to watch every single year. The Sound of Music. That's not Christmas, right? But it seems like it always shows up around Christmas. The Sound of Music came out in 1965, so it's exactly as old as I am. I just love that show. I just something about the innocence of that show. Even while it's about the Nazis taking over and all that, there's just a little bit of it. Them going around and just singing and thinking that singing makes the whole world go around, makes the world happier. In a lot of ways, it does. But I know every song to heart, so certainly that. What other shows? I'm looking at Sharon to give me a few inputs. A Few Good Men with Jack Nicholas and Tom Cruise. Probably Sharon's favorite movie, and so I end up watching. We have A Few Good Men. I think we pretty much have everything memorized on that movie. There's Animal House. I lived Animal House. We talked before. A whole lot of stories from my college years that I won't ever be able to reveal. But I kind of lived the life of Animal House. If you haven't seen it, watch it. I kind of lived my way through it. So every time Animal House is on, and Sharon hates it. She hears that da 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 da. She hears the theme music from Animal House. She says, "There's that show on again." So yeah, she's seen it a few times. Unfortunately, I think she's got Animal House memorized, just like I've got A Few Good Men memorized. But of all of them, Braveheart maybe is my favorite. Just it's not true. It's based on a true person, but it's so fictionalized. But just the whole idea of a man who's just willing to give everything for his love, for his country and everything. Hey, it kind of hits home. And I do have some Scottish roots in me. So yeah, I feel he could be my great grandpappy or something like that, right? Yeah, probably not. But the Hogs were from Scotland, but we came from the lowlands, not the highlands. I didn't know there was a difference till I got over there. But apparently, yeah, there are a lot of Scots that didn't live up in the mountains, that didn't wear the kilts and all of that. They were just kind of Englishmen from a little further. Don't say that. They'd hate that. But Scotsmen that lived down in the valleys and did farming and regular stuff, as opposed to the clansmen up in the highlands and everything else. But yeah, love me some Braveheart. All right, Cindy Hire saying Pretty in Pink is my go-to when I feel down. All right, Cindy. All the John Hughes classics. Just go back and The Breakfast Club, Pretty in Pink. What else was Molly Ringwald in? I can't. Her 16th birthday one. Is that it? 16th birthday. Breakfast Club is kind of the one I always like because I knew all those kind of people in high school and all that. 16 Candles. Sorry about that. So yeah, Cindy, John Hughes, you're talking my language for that as well. Mark saying, what do you think of the Wheel show? Lots of celebrities. All right, Mark. I just got through last night. We've got like 5 episodes recorded of the Wheel. I just watched the first episode. I like answering the questions. I thought it was funny the first episode. 2 of the 6 celebrities that were on that show were from Big Brother, Celebrity Big Brother. But it's close enough, right? Mark McGrath and Todrick Hall were both on there. I like any kind of trivia show. We watch Jeopardy every single day and try to answer their questions. So I like that question trivia type shows. And I like that part of it. I used to love Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. And they kind of ask questions. You got 4 different answers you can make. So that part of the wheel is similar. What I don't like about it is so slow. It takes 10, 15 minutes to get to the next question. It seems like probably 10 minutes or so. It just takes forever of a lot of talking and everything else. So we recorded it. The hour-long show, The Wheel, we got through in about 20 minutes or so. I think that's the way to watch it. There's just a whole lot of fluff built into the show. But beyond that, I like it. Captain Lee is on one of the episodes, and I think Captain Sandy as well, who were both on Below Deck, and we watch Below Deck. Yeah, reality show. If it's reality show, I'm probably watching it. So they're both going to be on it, and I'm looking forward to seeing that episode. But yeah, I'll give it another shot because I like the trivia. They just need to speed it up just a little bit. All right, Keith Franken is saying a favorite gift. Oh man, I got some great gifts, Keith. I got some clothes. This is one of them. I got some clothes. I got some tools. I got a couple of puzzles. I got one puzzle, and it's by Ravensburger, which is a German company that does a lot of really good games and puzzles. You got to put a puzzle together. Once you get it put together, then it becomes an escape room type deal. You have to find clues within the puzzle to figure out how to escape from, this is an aquarium that you're in, how to escape from the aquarium just by doing that. So that's going to be fun to put together. My wife got me a little box about this big that has a BB you stick on one side. It's got a maze built in, and you've got to do the maze and get to the other end, but you can't see what's going on because it's a sealed box. So you just have to try to keep track of which direction you're going. And it's supposed to be just incredibly hard. I love those kind of puzzles that are just difficult stump. It's like Rubik's Cube, those kind of things where you really have to work to solve it. So I got all that. All right, here's a couple of things I got. I got some house shoes, which I especially appreciated when it was 15, 20 degrees outside. Yeah, so I got some of those. I always appreciate that. The other thing I got, I don't know if y'all remember, but inside the Big Brother house, I'd do my morning Cliff Notes. I'd go get my coffee. I'd go into the boat room, and there was a yellow blanket, and it was yellow with red and blue and everything. And it was from a company called Pendleton, and it represented a national park. And I just loved that blanket because it was super heavy, because it was made out of wool, super warm. Well, I got that blanket when I got out of off the show Big Brother, and I still have it with me. But I got as a Christmas present 4 mugs that came from the same Pendleton company, that are coffee mugs that are the colors and the stripes of 4 different national parks in the U.S. park system. So it's kind of a theme along with my woolen blanket. So that was kind of cool as well. So yeah, I don't know if I have any one specific favorite gift. I got a lot of cool stuff. So yeah, it was a fun Christmas. It was fantastic. And I also got Spotify, which I've had for a while, but I kind of got away from the premium, and my family said, "Nah, get rid of the commercials. Move up to the big leagues." So I got that as well. All right, Nathan Miracle saying, "I'm with you. Can't smell much of anything." The people blame it on COVID now if you had it, but for me, it was working out in the oil field. There's a lot of smells. The hydrogen sulfide. There's a lot of chemicals out in the oil field that you get used to after a while. And when I say get used to, I mean it just burns out your nasal receptors, I guess. So yeah, not my strongest superpower. I'm not ever gonna be smells everything guy. Well, that may be a good thing, but because I say I've had a lot of people ask me in the Big Brother house, or say, while you're in the Big Brother house, how did it smell in there? Was there anyone that just you thought, God, they need to work on their hygiene, or was the house just, the smells being trapped inside? How bad was it? I never noticed any of it. There wasn't a single person I was in the house with that I ever thought I don't want to hang around with them because they haven't been maintaining hygiene. There was never anything with the air. Every once in a while, I'd come back in after being outdoors when they'd shut us back in for a few days. And when you'd walk back in, you could kind of pick up that the air was just a little stale, right? I could pick up that. But yeah, my smell-o-vision was never such that it was an issue. The fact we had 16 people sharing a single toilet, that may be a good thing. I didn't have to worry about it. Kat brought in poopery and all these things to help us out as we were all having to share and all that. Didn't affect me one bit. So sometimes your disadvantages turn into advantages at certain points in life, and maybe that was the case. Not so much in that competition, but the rest of the time in the house, that was fine. Patty's saying, do you watch Big Sky or The Cleaning Lady? No, I don't watch either one, and I don't really know about them. I've heard of them. I've heard of both. I just don't know anything about it. I need to look it up and see that. There's a couple of. All right, here's another show I watched. I mentioned all the movies we watched and everything else. I also started Wednesday from the Addams Family, right? Yeah. My kids had said watch it. It's pretty good. We watched the first episode. It was interesting. It's taking Wednesday Addams and putting her into a different environment and seeing how everything plays out. It was kind of cool. It reminded me a little bit of Sabrina the Teenage Witch when they tried to do that a couple of years ago, but this one looks like it could be even a little bit darker. So I don't know. We watched that, so that'll be good. But the other thing I've got on my list, which I know I've talked about on here and y'all have asked about on here, is Yellowstone. And I want to watch that so bad. I need to make sure I got a spot to watch it, time that I can dedicate to binging it. Because once I start watching, I think I'm going to watch it all the way through. So now the Cleaning Lady and Big Sky I have not watched, but put them both on the list because especially Big Sky, I've heard great things about. All right, Mark Taylor saying, what guy is going out in the challenge? There's not many folks left, right? They're down to competing as these teams and all of that. We lost who else? Yeah, we lost a guy. Then we lost Kenny, and then we lost who did we just lose? Y'all help me out. I just did the recap, but I celebrate Christmas. Who it was Amber that beat tell me. Y'all know who it is. Who did we lose in the challenge last week? Because I just can't remember. But doesn't matter. This week we've got a guy. I tell you what, Mariah's team better win a competition. If she doesn't win a competition, they're going to get window down real quick. Horatio, I mean, if the other team wins, if face Nessie, that thing, no, it was Nuris, right? It was Nuris. Yeah, okay, I had to think about that for a second, which will not make Nelson happy at all. Thank you for that. If the other side, if Fessel's team wins again, would they go after Devin or Jordan, or would they keep up with this idea of let's not upset the other side and maybe go after Horatio instead? I think if they win more, they're going after Jordan. I think Jordan could be in trouble. Now, that doesn't mean Jordan goes home. It would be Jordan competing against Devin, I guess, and whoever wins that could go home. If it's the other side, I think they've got to go after the strong guys at this point in time because they're already down 2 people. So if Mariah's team wins the next competition and they pick 2 guys on the other side, who would they pick? Bananas and I don't know. Bananas and I don't think they pick Nelson because I think Devin's going to think they can bring Nelson over to their side. So Bananas and Faisal maybe with the idea that gets Bananas out the door. I don't know. There's still so many people left, but I could see the other side maybe going after some big targets. I don't think they can afford to wait by picking off. And there's only 2 rookies on Faisal's side. So they might as well go after the vets at this point in time anyway, because they have to. Are there any guys? I guess there's one. Chauncey I think Chauncey's on that. He's the only male vet rookie. So they may put Chauncey up against, I think they pick Bananas and maybe Faisal. I don't know. It's going to be fun. Like I say, there's so many episodes left on that, but I've enjoyed this season of the challenge as well. They don't like Fessy. Patty saying, no, I know. I don't know why people just don't, because we've seen them talk about, Fessy, when he looks in the mirror, he's always looking at himself and all that. And I know why Nelson maybe is a little upset, but it seems like even he and Fessel kind of work things out a little bit. But all I know is that if Fessel stays, and for those of you who don't know, it used to be Fessy, but that was his nickname. He has said he wants to try to use his original name to more respect or his Muslim roots and all that. So I'm trying to say Fessel as well, but I don't mind Fessel winning this thing. He's such a big old beast. They just better make sure that he has an eating challenge as part of this finale, because now that we know Fessel's weakness, I don't want him winning any money until he can overcome that weakness. It seems only reasonable and only fair that he should have to do that. Speaking of weaknesses, and I know all of y'all don't watch a challenge, so I'll just say this and then we'll move on to something else. As great as those people are in the challenge in terms of athletic, physical competitions and all that, and they're amazing. I've said before, if I went on that show, they'd probably rush me off the hospital in a body bag trying to keep up with them. But trivia and mathematics and some of the more mental things in life, those challenge players needs a little less time in front of the cameras and a little more time in the classroom studying some of the stuff or trivia. I mean, maybe watching TMZ or something because they had a trivia competition last week, and there were people who absolutely were horrific at this. I'm assuming most of y'all who are watching this with me tonight, most of y'all probably know who the couple was that lived in the Garden of Eden, right? Yeah, most of us would think that could be Adam and Eve that lived in the Garden of Eden. Casey didn't know who that was. Most of you would probably know that C-3PO's robot buddy that he hung around with in all the Star Wars movie may have gone by the name of R2D2, right? Amber didn't know that. Amber didn't even know C-3PO. She kept saying CP3O or something. She's I didn't watch it. Those movies are too long. So yeah, we got a little trivia to teach those people. And mathematics, they've already proven that that's not their strong suit anyway. And with that, we're going to move on from the challenge because I know a lot of y'all are like, oh, come on. Loving this episode though, or this season. Miss Fire is saying, what are you most proud of in 2022? It's got to be this. Both my kids got married. I mean, they got married to incredible people. They got married. It's another milestone. I watched the two of them get married, and especially with my anniversary coming up, I think about when I got married and what a life changer that was for me. Everything after I got married made more sense and had more value and more priority and more. There's some people who don't ever get married and are perfectly happy with it, and you don't have to be married to live a fantastic life. Everyone has different goals and objectives in life, right? And not for everyone, it's not about marriage, but for me, it was a life changer. And I think for my two kids, I know for my two kids, it was as well. Watching them get married, watching the joy on their faces, and me just remembering back to when they're little babies, right? Yeah, celebrating their first Christmases when they're tiny little things, and suddenly seeing them so mature and so I don't know this. I don't know. I feel like I need to be singing the Circle of Life from the Lion King or something because that's what it felt like. Watching them go from birth to this next stage in life, that's got to be what I'm absolutely the most proud of how great they turned out. And me thinking maybe I had a little something to do with it. I don't know. Most of it was Sharon. Most of it was just them being incredible people. But maybe I threw in a little bit as well. But no, that's definitely my most proud thing. Vicky's saying, where did you and Sharon meet? All right, a little interesting story behind that one, and I'm glad you asked. Sharon and I both went to Texas A&M, but we didn't know each other at A&M. However, my roommate was dating her roommate in college, and so when it came time for spring break, my junior year, I think, we were everyone wanted to go down to South Padre Island for spring break. And so my roommate said, hey, I know my girlfriend and some of her friends have a little place down there, a little hotel that they rented a room. They said there's another room available. So he said, yeah, let's do it. So we rented a room next to theirs, went down to South Padre Island. They'd gotten in just a little bit beforehand. We met each other and said hi. And so that's when I met Sharon, was just because my roommate was dating her roommate. And so at the time she had a boyfriend, so there wasn't anything romantic at all. But we at the beach going across the border into Mexico, we just discovered we were the two that had most in common with each other. We were the ones that were acting goofy, dancing up on stage and just having fun and just kind of cutting loose and everything. And again, nothing romantic about it. It's just all about just having fun with each other. And so we did that, but soon afterwards we graduated. We ran into each other once or twice over the next year or so at parties and things like that. But again, nothing romantic at the time. I graduated, then I started working on the oil rigs out in West Texas. So I was a long way away from where she was teaching here in Houston. So we kind of lost track with each other. But then funniest thing, my roommate and her roommate ended up getting married to each other. We both came to there. It was a small wedding, but we both came to that. met each other at the wedding, and at that time, both of us were ready to mingle, single and ready to mingle. And so we started talking, and sparks flew. And next thing you know, I was coming to Houston a lot more than I'd been coming before. And so yeah, so that's how we meet. So when people ask that, Sharon always hates it when I say, "Oh, we met at spring break." Yeah, I met her down at Potter Island. There's a lot more to it than that, but that is the first time I saw her. But again, we didn't really start dating until a few years after that, after we were both already out of school. But yeah, yeah, you never know where love's going to surface, where you're going to find your true love, and true love it was. So there you go. That's our cute meet story, I guess. Isn't that what they said in romance movies? Our cute meets. See, I watch The Holiday too much because I know the cute meet. They talk all about it in that show. All right, so 7:54 goes so quick. I hope y'all are doing well. What else was I going to talk about? I think most of it I covered more or less. We're going to celebrate an anniversary on Thursday. Not really sure exactly how we're going to do it, but Thursday the 29th. And then this weekend, we're doing Christmas all over again. Christmas and New Year's and all of that. We celebrated just with the core family this weekend. Next weekend, we'll be celebrating with the larger family, my brothers and their families, and my mom and everyone. So we'll have a whole host of people showing up. So we'll be celebrating Christmas. We'll be watching football playoffs, and then Saturday night we'll be doing New Year's as well. New Year's, we'll I don't know what we'll do yet. Our tradition for New Year's Eve is at midnight. We always go out in the front yard with pots and pans, and we bang them as loud as we can. Wake up. You can't get mad at people at midnight on New Year's Eve, right? If you're asleep, you just got to put up with it. But we did that when our kids were little, and so we said, let's just keep it up. So we go out at midnight, bang on pots and pans, and just have fun outdoors. If it's still cold, we may go out and come right back in pretty quick, but we'll do that. We had so much food. I didn't even talk about what I ate this weekend. Oh my gosh, we had prime rib, enchilada casserole. We had a breakfast bake, which was biscuits and eggs and sausage in a souffle kind of thing. It's so good. Prime rib was amazing. Of course, we had macaroni and cheese. It's not going to be a hog celebration without macaroni and cheese. So we ate incredible this entire weekend. Next weekend, it's all about the tamales. Yeah, we've got a kind of a tradition down here in Texas, especially Houston, South Texas. A lot of people eat tamales as a bit of a celebration over the holidays. So we're going to do that next weekend. All of our families have tamales. We're going to bring up different ones and I'll put them together, and we're going to be eating good as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun doing that as well. All right, Hayden's saying, and then before the wife was retired. Yeah, Hayden, that was so funny. They did that. I did that. I came in there. I don't remember. It's after the first we got banished into the Black Forest. And there was something about going through and getting hit with a bunch of beach balls and all that. And I did some little joke, and I said, yeah, but before the wife. And I didn't even think anything about it. I just said it off the cuff. Well, then the next time I came in a day or two later for the next diary room session, the producer person that was talking to me said, "Hey, Cliff, that was kind of funny, that before the wife thing. Yeah, you got something else?" I said, "I don't know." And I threw out something else. It was just some other joke about the whacktivity, I think. And I did the same little, before the wife. And they laughed about it. Next thing you know, every time I'm going into the diary room, they're saying, "Hey, Cliff, do you have another before the wife?" And so after that, I start having to actually think of things I could say and all of that. But what's funny is I didn't realize until almost at the very end, like down when we were just 4 or 5 people, the very end of the season, I was talking about this before the wife, and the producer said something like, "Yeah, Cliff, that's been pretty funny, little thing that you've done all season long with it." And I happened to say, yeah, I just thought this was kind of funny too. And they said, "Yeah, Cliff, we've always been wondering about that. You always hold your hand up like this and do this little before the wife." They said, "We never knew what that was, and we didn't want to ask you, but is that some kind of message that you're sending to your wife? You forming a C or something for your wife?" I said, no, that's nothing to do with that. I didn't have it planned to do before the wife jokes when I came in here. That was just a throwaway line I just threw out the first day or two. I said, this is from, y'all know who Groucho Marx is, right? From the Marx Brothers way back, a little before I was born even. But he used to do these little things, and he still doesn't like Cheetos commercials. They have a little cartoon version where he like holds a cigar. He tells a little joke. Yeah. Well, that's what I was doing. Yeah, yeah. Before the wife. Yeah, like I'm holding a cigar or something and just kind of laughing. That was my little symbol that I did. They had no clue. They thought I was trying to send a message. And so I mentioned that, and all of a sudden I heard this producer say, "Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. We didn't know that, Cliff." So I actually, after that was over, I thought, if they don't know what that is, all these people who obviously they must like it, they must keep showing it on TV if they keep asking me about it. All these people at home are going to be thinking, what is this guy's problem? Why does he keep holding his hand, shaking his hand like that or something? If they don't know what it is, probably no one else does either. So then I felt kind of funny about it, but nah, it worked out fine. It was that was so weird because you don't know when you're in that house how you're being received. And that was one of those things. The fact that they kept asking me over and over, I thought, all right, well, obviously they must think it's kind of funny. So maybe that's a good sign, right? Same with the Cliff Notes. At one point, after Christy overheard me, I had producers say, "Cliff, are you going to keep doing those Cliff Notes?" Yeah, there's people who like watching them out on TV, on the live feeds and everything. Are you going to keep doing them? Well, I heard them say that. And it's like, well, yeah, I guess if people like it, I'm not going to stop. I just stopped giving quite as much detailed strategic information. Yeah, you got to be careful, but those little things you never knew about was always interesting. All right, guys, it is 8 o'clock. We're going to shut it down. I would be remiss if I didn't give y'all an early Happy New Year's to all of y'all. I hope y'all stayed safe. I hope you've had a fantastic holiday season so far, but we're not there yet. We've got one more week, a weekend. Some of you have to work, but a lot of you don't. Stay safe. Have fun New Year's weekend. If you're of age, well, even if you aren't of age, if you imbibe in anything, do not drink and drive. Don't toke and drive. Don't be safe. Be safe about everything you do because it's not just your life that's at stake. But beyond that, have a fantastic New Year's Eve celebration. Here comes 2023. It's got to be a fantastic. I know it. It's going to be a great year for all of us. Guys, let me finish it off. Finish off the year with a big old SKD 143. I love my wife. I love my kids. I love all of y'all out here. It means so much getting to do this every Monday. And if you get a chance, go out there and hit subscribe and hit the like button. It's always appreciated. Guys, y'all have a great one. I'm going to shut down. I won't see y'all again until next year. I had to do that. I'll see y'all in 2023. But until then, happy holidays. Happy New Year's. See y'all next Monday. Cheers, my friends.